All right, class, thank you for joining us today. Today I will be on the affirmative side of stating that the U.S. should pull military troops from Afghanistan, Syria, and Iraq. I would first like to talk about the points that Alex brought up in his denial. So So he says that democracy outweighs the cost of the war. He says also that taxpayers are not directly paying for the war. However, he said that there are loans that the government is using. So therefore, it's adding to the $22 trillion debt that we have and is not helping us in the long run. That's going to be put on our shoulders and our future generation's shoulders. That's not solving any issues, it's just making the problem more prolonged. And according to the anyways, I'm going to move on. He also states he also stated the direct goal with Afghanistan. However, if you look at compared to other wars, it is the longest war we've had in this nation ever in its history. It's been going on since 2001, and the Taliban actually controls most of the land out there, and we're still trying to fight back. If the war takes this long, it shouldn't. If a war takes this long, then obviously it's not a military issue, it's more of a political issue. And I will move on now to the significant claims. So as I've been saying, the U.S. has been failing to reach goals in the Middle East. This is significant because recently, even in January, our own Senator Mitch McConnell has stated that ISIS and Al-Qaeda have yet to be defeated. Yes, ISIS may possibly have been defeated recently, but Al-Qaeda has been around is one of the longest terrorist groups has been around and still yet to be defeated. So that just shows how our failure as a military is not helping out over there. And going back to the budget for military aid in the Middle East, it has been planned for 2019 according to the fiscaltimes.com. According to them, the U.S. has already budgeted more money for Syrian operations in 2019 compared to 2018. The Defense Department expects to spend roughly $15.3 billion in Syria next year, the highest level yet, with the State Department accounting for another $1 billion in foreign aid. So as you can see, the budget is in fact increasing. So that shows that there's no retracting of military at all, and it's just putting us in a deeper hole that we cannot dig out of. Next, I'd like to move on to my inherency claims. We have lost the credibility and trust of the civilians in the Middle East due to multiple drone strikes, such as one that just happened. So recently, an unprecedented investigation revealed that a U.S.-led military coalition killed more than 1,600 civilians in a rocket death trap. So civilians are being killed. Don't you think that's going to make us look less credible? Yeah, Alex did state that we might be trying to help rebuild infrastructure, but at the same time, we're still destroying that infrastructure and the people. So it really makes a conflicting situation for us, and we have not much support from even those countries. And I also like to state that Al-Qaeda is still, their primary goal is against America. And this supports Mahdi's claim that terrorists are only existing because of the U.S.'s involvement in those countries. Here in Bin Laden stated in 1996, it may be old, but this goal is still used to this day. He announced a declaration of war against the Americans occupying the land of the two holy places, which is including Afghanistan. And there's always a possibility of warfare breaking out again and new terrorist groups forming. So the longer we stay there, the more potential there is for the problem to get bigger. It says right here, according to Hassan Hassan, he wrote a book on the origins of ISIS. He has a lot of in-depth experience with the group. Most historians of the Islamic State agree that the group ISIS emerged out of Al-Qaeda in Iraq as a response to the U.S. invasion in 2003. So that just shows you that this is just one example of a group that spewed out, and then multiple other groups could also spew out in the future. So I'd like to move on to my solvency claims. The money being used in this war could be allocated to so many different things domestically that are more important to us than it is over there. If you look at the funding for education, military funding is in fact 8 times higher than education funding. And it says here, according to, and that was the budget, that was directly from federal government, their budget expenses. So here, according to the National Center for Education Statistics, since 2000, over 1,000 public schools each year have closed up to this day. So that shows that our public education is failing, and we should allocate the money from the military to public education or other issues. Thank you.